Hey guys, this is Rob John Webb here for Wax This Music, and what I want to do tonight is I want to have a look at some lo-fi house. Now, obviously it comes in many different styles and many different subgenres and different sort of textures, but the predominantly obvious sound of it is that raw, heavy kick drums and hissy sort of background noise and tape sort of noise, and basically lo-fi sounds. But what I been listening to a lot over the last year or so is like DJ Boring and Seinfeld and those kind of people. But for me, when I first began DJing and getting into records and working in a record shop back in the early 90s, Todd Terry was lo-fi house as far as I'm concerned. His productions were raw and heavy and dirty. DJ Duke, another lo-fi producer in my opinion. And then you had people like Kajul Records and Chicago Relief and all those kind of things. They were really lo-fi, bedroom production stuff. And basically that's the sort of stuff that I was raised on, and that's what gave me a lot of schooling in a lot of my house music. And obviously as time passed, house music became a lot cleaner and a lot more technical and a lot more polished. But with the recent success of a lot of the lo-fi house stuff, it's good to hear because it's nice to have that raw backstreet stuff, which is what house music originally was. So what I thought I'd do is I'd do a little tutorial and see how I get on with trying to make that kind of thing, with modern technology, obviously, without the use of tapes and stuff like that. So I'm going to put together a little tutorial using very simple stuff, and then we'll see what we come up with. So I'm just going to pop my headphones on, and away we go. So first things first, what I want to do is I want to go into Drum Rack and get a 909 and just put a 909 in there. Okay, we've got the classic stuff, straightforward. And what I want to do is I want to duplicate that so that I've got one for kicks and one for hi-hats. So I'm just going to rename that kick, and I'm going to rename that hi-hats. Let's call it hats claps. Okay, on the kicks channel, I'm going to get in straightforward, 4/4. I'm going to use this kick actually. There's two kicks on the 909 pack. One's a lot more, I just like that one. I'm going to use that one, the first one. Okay, I'm going to set it at 120. Let's go for 120. Okay, put the metronome on, just get a quick kick in there. Okay, there we go. Right, okay, that's that dealt with. So, close that down, double click, open that up, and duplicate. Quantize, where I'm going with that. And then what we'll do is just open that up briefly, close it down, shorten that, extend that, and there we go. Right, so copy that over and do that. Okay, so it's a straightforward kick. Okay, and then I'm going to go on to the next channel down below, just change the colour of it just to keep it consistent. And then I'm just going to put in straightforward pattern, no messing. Here goes. There we go. And again, I'm going to put those across. Now, a lot of this stuff is, it's so easy to get wrapped up in doing things the way you would normally do them, and I'm trying my hardest to avoid that. Now, what I'm going to do in this, with this hi-hat, the open hat, is I'm going to select one shot here, and I'm going to transpose it down 4, -4, so like that. So what I mean, straight away. So it gives it that, real lo-fi sort of feel already, that kind of industrial sort of techno feel. And then with the closed hats, I'm going to choose that one, which is that one. And I'm going to take that down, click one shot and take that down just one. Probably, yeah, just the one. And then the same for the other one. Let's take that down one as well. See what happens. See, I don't like that. So what I'm going to get rid of is probably the first one. Get rid of the first one on every other, so like that. That's better. And just duplicate them over and make them the same like that. So And then in here, I'm going to copy one of the little blocks and I'm going to put it onto the clap on the same as every other kick, like so. But what we'll do with the clap is we'll put on an individual, like a off the drum bass, the drum bus. Sorry. Let's go to audio and go to drum bus, and there's one in here which I liked, which was muffled. This thing here, and drag that onto the actual clap thing here, look like that, so you can individually separate the audio on that just for the clap only. And instantly it muffles it down. If you take it off and take it away, it just gives it that. Yeah, so there you go. So it just kind of roughs it up a bit and just makes it. I mean, a lot of this stuff is trial and error, so I wouldn't worry too much about any sort of specific, accuracy that has to be maintained or has to be produced. Lo-fi house is what it is. It's just raw and ready and straight out of the box, which is a beautiful thing in house music because it gives you the chance to be flexible and break the rules. Forget the rules. So we're going to do that, and then next up, what we're going to do is I'm going to get up my blog, which is my website here, which is Waxadis Music. So it's my waxadis.blogspot.com, and you can find this in the link at the bottom of this video anyway. And in here is where all my courses are, all my tutorials, all my write-ups about everything to do with house music, blah, 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 blah. And in there, I've got a free samples pack section. And go over to that, and in there, click on the red picture, and this takes you to where my samples and chords and drum patterns and all that are held. And it's all free, and it's all, there for you to use. And I've created some Rhodes chords. Now, in these Rhodes chords, I've played them all myself. They're all played in. They're royalty free. You can use them for whatever you want, whenever you want. And when the page loads, here we go. Here we go. Look, these are all the ones I've created. And then on here, you've got your Fender Rhodes. Click on that. And that will take you to the download link. And you just click on that link there, and away you go. And it downloads, and there you go. And that's it. So grab that, the Fender Rhodes chords pads from the waxadis.blogspot.com website, which is what I own. Okay, so once we've done that, we need to find those samples, and what we'll do is the healer. And they're what I played in, and then just recorded those as waves, and then just sent them off as a pack. So free to use. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the A-7. And that's this one, and we're going to pop that in there like this, okay? And we're going to shorten it down, and then we're going to use the E-7, which is there. E-7 chord, there. Not the E minor, don't get confused with it. Shorten that right down, so it's going to play like... And we're going to move that over here like this. So you're going to extend this. It's a little bit of, production messing about, like with the... And that's going to cut there, and you're going to pull that in like that. And then you're going to get the other chord, which is F-7 with a B flat root, that one. And you put these together. Now, all these chords that I've created, you can use them with whatever you want. It really doesn't bother me. I've given them away for free, so I want you to take advantage of them and experiment with them as much as you can. Now, this set of chords, then, it goes like this. Let's have a look. Let's get this right. So it should go like this. Wow, I'm too early. See, too early. Let's go back here, back out, like that. There you go. Perfect. Now, obviously, with a lot of lo-fi house stuff, a lot of it is quite emotional. Some of it, a lot of it's kind of a bit moody and a bit bordering on techno. A lot of it, and ambient as well. But with what I want to try and do here is I want to try and make something a little bit more funky and a little bit more, a bit more soulful, a bit more jazzy. So yeah, so that's it. So I've got those chords in there, look, A-7, E-7, little stab there, and then into the F-7 with the B flat root. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to do a little bit of processing, but nothing major. What we're going to do is get a EQ up, and what we'll do is we'll throw in the EQ8, and we're going to do a high pass on it, and select that, and just drop a little bit of the top end out here. So go to number 4 and choose this one here like that. So you're cutting out. I'm going to raise it. Just leave it like that for a minute. So let's solo that. See how thin it is now and how thick it is now. Take away the top end. Make it dull and dark. Okay. And then I want to put a saturator on it and get a saturator. And what we'll do with the saturator is we'll just turn up the drive slightly. Can you hear it coming through? Gritty. It's gritty. Nice and gritty. And we'll change the analog to a soft sine. Turn the output down slightly. Okay. And then what we'll do is we're going to add an auto filter to it. So check auto filter and turn up your amount of your LFO, change your hertz to a musical notation, keep it on 1/4 and bring it down like this. And it just makes it proper soulful and wobbly with that wow sort of effect. Now with this you can experiment whatever you want, it doesn't matter, as long as you've got that sort of wobble sort of effect that gives it that soulful vibe. Take off the saturator and just gives it that little bit of grit, tiny bit, look, like a 1 decibel. And it just gives it that nastiness. And what we're going to do with this kick also is I want to do the same with the kick. I want to get a little saturator on the kick. Put a saturator on the kick. Turn up the drive to about 7 dB. And there you go. So that's that little thing done there. What we need to do now is put in a little bit of tape hiss. Now obviously if you want to get a tape hiss sample, then by all means go and get one, but it's easy to create one in seconds with any sort of synthesizer that you've got. What I use is the Tau Uno 62, and I'm going to bring one in now like this. And it's a great little synth, it's just a remake of the Juke. So what we're going to do is you choose from the drop down menu, get a default setting. And all you do is turn up your noise and take off your oscillators. And there you go, look. But what we'll do is you can just obviously filter it down like so. But all we need to do really is have this very subtly in the background. So, and then we'll put on an EQ, EQ8, and then we'll just take off the bottom end like so. Great for making sweeps and stuff, obviously when when you make a. But what we're trying to create here is the effect of a tape. So again, another saturator on there. You could choose one of the different sort of presets in there, but just put a saturator in. Turn the output down. Again, experiment, because I've got headphones on, so it's a lot different for me to gauge exactly what it sounds like through speakers. So we're just going to record that in A. It makes no odds because it doesn't make a difference. So I'm just going to record it. Double click on it and then drag it to the start and quantize it, whatever you want to do. And then let's just solo that. And there you go, you got some noise. And you can have that really just very subtle in the back. Bring it down a bit. And put your Rhodes on. And just instantly, it's just got that low-fi feel. So that's that really. That's just the the effect that you get for that. So I'm just going to put tape hiss on that. Okay, next up. And next what we want to do is we want to kind of have a little bit of a bass line in there really. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another free synth which I'm really into, and that is called the OXEVST, and that's this thing here. Now this is great. I mean, you could even play these chords in if you got one of the Rhodes sounds up. For example, you could play them in and then you know, process them with the saturator and stuff like that. It really makes no odds, you know. But what I'm going to use this for is I'm going to use this for the bass line. Now, there's two bass lines that I like in here that are straight out of the box, and the first one for me is the floor bass, which is the classic. Let's play that. But it's a little bit too squeaky, so I'm going to use the square bass, and I can find that in here somewhere. There it is, squarey bass. Drop down. Now this goes really nice. So there you go. So I'm just going to play the two notes, which is A and B flat, and then up to a C, because it's in the F minor chord, F minor 7 chord on the final chord. So I'm just going to press record and just get this bass line in. Do that again. Wasn't happy with that. Let's just lose that, extend that. Let's go. There we go. Open that up. So redo that. Get rid of that start. And then double click, open it up. I'm just going to quantize it. Make sure the notes are long. And just put these over. Now the kick, obviously, we could probably drop that an octave or two. Sorry, you know, a semitone or two, should I say? One. I'm just going to have a look at it. So that's better. That's nice. That's a nice. Drop it down one. Put the roads on. And there you go. As I say, it's all experimentation. You know, there are no set rules for this whatsoever. But what it needs now is a little bit of soul. So I'm going to use the Z3TA. And in here, there's a load of texture sounds, which I really like. And it's just the first couple that I'm really into, which is... Now, normally, like ambient, you know. And then there's probably... So yeah, start layering it with some stuff like that. So yeah, you could experiment. I could record that all day. I could sit there and record, you know, riff after riff, and I mean, yeah, there is really no reason why you can't do anything with this song. what I'll do is I'll record in some chords. And just do half chords, like real short stabs, half the length. So let's just have a look at them. They're all in time. And just take off the bass line a minute. I'm just going to put a compressor on that bass just to get a bit of volume out of it for the purposes of this tutorial. And then on top of the chords, you just have the lead. So there you go. A quick tutorial. It's nothing special, it's nothing major, but it shows you what it can do out of the box in terms of lo-fi house. There are no rules for this. You know, people come into it thinking, oh, well, it's not this, it's not right. You know, no, there are no rules with lo-fi house. It's that simple. You can make it as funky or as ambient or as soulful or as techno as you want, as long as you have that dirty rawness that it needs, those kind of hissy sounds and those distorted kicks and those like kind of transposed hi-hats, then you know you're away. So yeah, so don't forget to download the samples pack from my blog, it's waxadisc.blogspot.com. They're completely free of charge. And if you want the synths that are in this tutorial, the Uno is the Tal Uno, which is free from Tal. Just Google Tal Uno. And OXE is also a free synth, which has got loads of general MIDI sounds in and classic sounds, all sorts of percussion and synthesizers and bells stuff. Great synth, brilliant, worth having. And the Z3TA is one that you pay for, and this I've had this a while now, but this is more. There's a lot of good sounds in here, but there's a lot of trancey sounds, you know. But there's a lot of good sort of housey sounds as well. There's some really good stuff in there. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment in the box below. Any advice or tips you need, just inbox me and follow me on the usual social medias. Thank you and goodbye.